are hearing the case of Myrick Harris versus Erica Milligan, case number 24-12769 PP. This hearing is being recorded on Zoom and live streamed on YouTube.
And this matter comes before the court today on Miss Milligan's timely objection to a personal protective order that was signed by Judge McNabb, looks like back on the last day of 2024, 12/31/2024. So as a preliminary matter, I'm going to ask that the petitioner and respondent state and spell your names for the record. We can begin with petitioner, Mr. Harris.
Okay, I have to give a big shout out to Zach and Law Nerds Unite for packaging this and sending it over to me. I haven't seen it yet, but by his description, it looks like it's going to be pretty fun.
First name is Myrick, last name Harris, MYRICHARRIS.
Thank you, sir. And Ms. Milligan.
Erica, ERICA, last name Milligan, MILLIGAN.
Very well. Ms. Milligan, I apologize. We had you incorrectly on the screen there. And Ms. Milligan, you filed the objection, essentially saying that the basis stated by Mr. Harris in his request for the protective order were untrue or incorrect. I will note here that the PPO is signed by Judge McNabb, states that it is granted, of course, as most PPOs are, without a hearing and following a domestic relationship. So the burden now is on Mr. Harris to prove that at least some of the incidents that he is citing here in his complaint would qualify as threats or harassment under the PPO statute. So as a first matter, I'm going to swear you in, Mr. Harris, and take your testimony. If you'd please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that your testimony today will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Very good. And it indicates here at the start of yours that you were served with a TRO because Ms. Milligan alleged threats to kill her. Does that actually mean a PPO that Ms. Milligan took out against you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. And then
Love, exciting and new.
Here, this is similarly going on along with what I'm understanding is a family case, maybe down in Louisiana. But essentially, the first allegation here is after being used that parenting app or for communication, you state that Eric constantly taunted me, called me names in the act to get a negative response. Do you have any printouts or specific information about what was in that parenting app?
Your Honor, I have evidence that I cannot submit to the court today. I was told by your court that I have to serve her with everything that I bring to court today, but I do have those. I can get those police reports, pictures, videos, social media, whatever you need. Those things have already been turned in to the Louisiana court during discovery.
Okay, and what is the parenting app ordered by the Louisiana court?
Yes.
Is it My Family Wizard or is it a different one?
We use App Close.
App Close, okay. And can you give me an example of some of the language or threats that she made to you on that app, if you can recall them?
She's never made threats in the app. What she would do is just when I would ask about my children, and I would have to ask things repeatedly because she wouldn't answer. She would say, "Are you stupid? I've told you one time, use your brain, don't be dumb." Things like that. The harassment more so came on social media. Days and days for about a year. I have all that evidence that has been turned into the Louisiana court during discovery. I can present it to this court, videos and comments and different things from social media and antagonizing.
Okay, and these are the ones you cite in your petition here. You say these are under page names, Whitley_Wayne, TikTok, EL Milligan -Facebook, and for EVR_Erica at IG.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Oh, this should be fun. I haven't seen it yet, but if we get some of that, I don't know. If Zach's in here, he can tell you if we do.
And what are some of the examples of the harassing statements made on social media?
Allegedly we were married and saying things, if he did this to you, if he did this to me, he'll do it to you. It's Your Honor, it's so many. I'd have to print them out to give them to you, but it's a lot of videos that are present just talking about me. And what happened was with those videos, it shined a bad light on me in the Grand Rapids community, because a lot of people that follow me are friends with her on social media. I've had to stay in my house. I don't go anywhere. People are, basically people have heard her stories, and they allege that I was a married man cheating on my wife with someone in my church. And it's just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So the judge in Louisiana has every one of those posts on every platform and those videos. It happened with several for like a year. It's every week or every few days, there was another video being made, Some videos got up to over 500,000 views.
And do they name you by name in there, Mr. Harris?
They do not name me by name. No, sir.
Okay, so in other words, they're saying, I'm married to this guy or was married to this guy, and here's what he did to me. But I think your statement today would be, well, the people that know us in that context would know that's directed at you.
Yes, sir. There's one video that has a picture of me. Her father's ex-girlfriend made a post that I gave Ms. Milligan, I'm assuming bacterial vaginosis, and a picture of me and a picture of a pH scale. And Ms. Milligan shared that post on her page. And all these things kind of gained traction from the day one. It was her telling her story about what happened to her. And over time, they gained more.
Wait. Hold it just a second. Time out here. I don't even know what that diagnosis was. Vagitis? What? Oh, she's playing dirty. Jerry.
More traction. Her numbers went up. Her followers went up. But that one post is a picture of me with a glass of alcohol in my hand that was taken during a conversation that we had. And it was alleged that I gave her father's ex-girlfriend.
There we go. Bacterial vaginosis. There you go. Happy Sunday morning to everybody. Thank you, Pants, for the bacterial vaginosis.
Alleged that I gave her bacterial vaginosis or something, and I smell like fish.
Oh, good
It was
Lord.
just a whole lot of negative connotations that have spread throughout the.
All right. Should I clip? I gave her bacterial vaginosis and just play it incessantly in the future.
Louisiana community and the West Michigan community.
Okay. All right. And then finally here, there is an allegation that she hacked your corporate email and made herself the admin on that account, and then routed, it looks like perhaps your corporate emails to her email account.
Yeah, so that was a few things that happened. This was back last year. I was talking to my attorney and never getting any responses through or back from him. And then I found out that my email was logged into in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and it showed that Ms. Milligan had made herself the admin over my company email.
If you don't want to talk about bacterial vaginosis on Sunday morning, Zach here is the guy to direct all your complaints to. In all seriousness, thanks, Zach. It's already been fun.
And this is from Google. They have timestamp, date stamp, IP addresses as well. This PPO that I asked for came about because for Christmas, Ms. Milligan asked me to come to Louisiana to visit my daughter. And when I got down there, Ms. Milligan drove up here to Michigan, busted the window out of my house, came in the house, took things from the house. The judge gave her 4 things on paper in the PPO out of the house. When I got home, Ms. Milligan had been in the house, I'm assuming for a couple hours, whatever, taking things. And
look at that, Andrew, with the science and stuff.
Kent County. I called 911 when I got home. Got the Kent County Sheriff's Office out, and nowadays an investigation because it appeared to be that my cameras had been hacked into, and it showed a date and time.
Oh, that sounds good.
That my cameras had been accessed by another device that had an IP address. And I was on the plane flying then. I can show that when all this happened, I was in there and flying back to Michigan.
Okay. All right. Well, I think you've testified about, a sufficient number of incidents to justify a PPO being in place. Let me get a response from Ms. Milligan. But Ms. Milligan, let me swear you in first. Would you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that your testimony today will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Very good. Ms. Milligan, you've heard
Ma'am, are you a whore?
and you did file an objection. You referenced the action down in Louisiana. Obviously, there is a matter going on down there between the two of you. It looks like a divorce or a domestic case. What about this other stuff that he's alleging about online harassment? I guess it would be helpful if you started out with that.
Yeah. So I'm not quite sure. A lot of the things that Myrick put in there is half truths, or it's either a lie. I'm sorry. So I was made aware of this sometime in March, I believe. So we're going through the discovery process for our child support case, and his attorney sends this over. So it's to my understanding that this was supposed to be served back in December. So I never was made aware of this until the discovery process. And once I found out about it, I contacted the court to get more information because he never properly served me.
Well, he did properly serve you. It just wasn't, he was granted the order way back in December 31, but then, you weren't served with it. Thus it didn't take effect under Michigan law, because obviously you got to know about it being there. Until that date, it was served on you, which I will note here, looks like it is.
He never actually sent it to me. It was sent to my attorney.
Yeah, but I thought I saw an email proof of service in here. I'm looking in the wrong place.
I
Yeah.
contacted the court, yes.
Yeah, right. And once you consent to an email as the means of being served on you, then service by email, at least under Michigan law, is acceptable. Are you saying you didn't consent to, and this is signed by Ms. Fields, our PPO clerk at the court, did you consent to the service by email?
From your office, yes.
Okay, well, then once you've consented, and it's noted in the record here, then service by email is acceptable. So, the net effect of that is it means it's been in effect since, March 18th. It also means that your objection's timely because you just filed your objection, and those have to be filed within 14 days, and you did that. So, what I'm doing now is examining the basis for the order to see if it should stay in place or not. And I think, the key for you is to determine, and if I'll tell you if what Mr. Harris is alleging that, the most concerning stuff here is social media posts identifying him, for example, and saying, he transmitted bacterial vaginosis. Well, that would be, libel and slander under the law of most states, and thus it would be a basis of a statement of harassment and for a protective order. So what's your response to that?
So, Judge, I'm breastfeeding, so I just turned off my camera. If that's okay?
Yeah, that's fine with me. I saw you swear in, so it's acceptable to turn off the camera. Is there any objection to her turning off the camera while she's feeding the child, Mr. Harris?
No, Your Honor.
Very well. Then you may continue, Ms. Milligan.
Okay, so I've written down 17 different things to go through and respond. So I can read read through these things if you like.
Oh, good Lord. Karen's got a 17-point plan. Holy. Oh, this should be fun.
Yep, go ahead.
So
These are responses to the things he just testified to?
yes, correct.
Okay, go ahead.
Myrick stated, and I'm trying to ping pong from his statement to mine. So he stated that we were in a relationship, I believe in 2024, we started in a relationship. So it looks like we've been in a relationship since 2017. He stated that he added me on to the lease. I'm sorry, I got my baby right here, so I'm trying to.
Oh, that's okay. Take care of that baby by all means.
Yep. So he said he added me on to the lease. That was not true. We did the process together. And partly because Myrick doesn't pay his bills on time, so he didn't have a good credit score. So when I got with him, I got his credit right. And when we moved to the apartment from Grand Rapids to Caledonia, we both were on the lease. So it was my credit initially that helped us because I had an 825 and he had a much lower score.
Yeah, here's a question. I just paused it. The only way I can see that being related to what he just said is regarding this alleged, allegation that you came up when he was traveling, I think, down to Louis, or I'm maybe getting it backwards here. No,
Yeah, free Myrick. The only thing he's guilty of is laying some good pipe.
you're still up here. He's down in Louisiana. Or no, you're in Louisiana. He's up here. So he said, well, I was traveling, you were traveling, I can't even keep it straight. He was traveling down to Louisiana, thought he was going to see you. And meanwhile, you were up here, entering the apartment without authority. You're saying you were on the lease at the time?
Yes, I was on the lease. And in the paperwork that he submitted, he said that I was not on the lease. He may have very well signed a lease, but that lease would not have started until January 1. So I got a PPO from the judge here in Louisiana because when I was pregnant, Myrick choked me. And then he also tried to harm me. The police were called out. I had to get a protective order because he threatened to harm me because I was telling everyone what I went through during my pregnancy, that he choked me. He kept bringing me soup when I was pregnant. I told him that I did not want the soup. Okay.
Just to pause you, Miss Milligan, was that protective order entered down in Louisiana?
Say that one more time for me.
Was that entered by the court down in Louisiana or here in the county?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Louisiana. Okay. All right. No, that clarifies it for me. So you get a protective order against him based on what happened when the two of you were together. It sounds like past abuse from him. And I guess the key question then becomes, what about these alleged statements that are made online? I didn't clarify, and of course I haven't seen these things, the printouts of them yet, but it sounds like Mr. Harris is saying this all happened after the two of you separated, or is that not correct?
That's incorrect. This is retaliatory. This PPO that he has taken out or tried to take out is retaliatory. So he has a current PPO right now.
Thank you. I think this is the first comment I've ever gotten from Hawaii, number one. And number two, that's funny.
And I have blocked him on so many different platforms. Myrick keeps creating new profiles to try and follow me, to look at the pictures that I'm posting, to look at the stories that I'm posting. I've blocked him multiple times.
Okay. Well, and I guess then the question is, and I'll give you the benefit of the doubt as I'm giving Mr. Harris here as well. If he's doing that and he's seen this, has he seen posts that could only be attributed to him? And I guess there, the one that's jumping out on me is the, accusation of this transmission of a, sexually transmitted disease one.
So BV isn't a sexually transmitted disease, and I don't recall saying
It's this bacterial vaginosis thing. I got to tell you, that sticks out in my mind.
that.
Okay, so you're, as we sit here today, you would deny that that was one of the things that you posted anyway.
I can't recall that. I don't believe I posted that. Someone else may have posted that.
Okay, how about
I believe that was somebody else, Judge. It came from her account. The guy's not confused. He knows it. I'm not saying he's a saint, but she posted it. Okay.
Other stuff on here about infidelity.
That's correct. He was cheating with a married woman at the church.
Okay.
They're in a relationship now.
Did you identify him specifically and say either by picture or by saying his name or I mean, how did you express that on social media?
I did not, Your Honor. I never included his name. I never included any pictures with him. If
Alaska and Hawaii show up today. I don't know why. But I love it.
they were, I covered him up so no one knew that he knew who he was. Now, what he did do is go and take pictures from my profile, and he posted on his page and say, hey, look what Eric is doing. So now all his followers are coming to my page. So now he's let everybody know this is like, when I went through great lengths to cover his identity, didn't say his name, he's like, this is me, right? Go check out what she's doing.
Okay, I'm being,
Ma'am, are you a whore?
I object to the relevance of that, Your Honor.
Um,
All right. What?
I'll tie it up real quick, Judge.
All right. Go ahead.
You're not a whore?
standard here, whatever. Now, were you both members of the church community when the two of you were together?
I was.
Okay, so is it a situation like he said where people, when you're talking about, hey, this guy I was with when I was in Grand Rapids, they know instantly it's Mr. Harris?
I don't know. I didn't know very many people in Grand Rapids.
You can't get into other people's heads, but, I guess it sounds like, maybe it's a tight enough church community that that might be the case anyways. How about your online community? Would that be true? The people that you communicate with online?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Would the people that you regularly communicate with online that read your posts and things like that, would they know the history to know that it was you and Mr. Harris for a while? So if you say, hey, my ex is doing X and so, they would know it had to refer to Mr. Harris?
Only the people that I've told all of my friends and family know what I have gone through. I have not kept it a secret. Yeah.
And it sounds like you've posted some of it publicly, and I guess I'm more curious about what about those, I would assume your friends and family are going to primarily side with you, but what about the online followers that,
no one knows who he is. I've built a following, and people don't know. He's not
not a public figure.
Not a celebrity or anything. People don't know who he is, and this is for me. Let me back up. He has done more of propagating this than I have.
Okay. Why don't you go and explain that to me, how that happens?
Sure. So he has done more of propagating this whole process than I have. He has built and called my followers, my mother, my father, my family members, my friends across the country. For him to say this is harming him, this is false. I think if this was harming him, he would not create posts that have been liked by hundreds and seen by thousands.
In other words, he's the one initiating the widespread, beyond a small circle of people, posts that he's identified in.
Correct.
Okay. You can continue. I know you had a whole document there that you were going to go down, and I kind of interrupted with my question. You can continue.
Okay. It's pretty lengthy. I don't know if you want me to go through.
Well, why don't you, and actually the one I'm most concerned about here, because this was the other one he testified with about here today, is what about this corporate email situation where you would have become the admin over his account? That might be a crime in Michigan at least. And what happened there from your perspective?
Yep. So if he's referring to his corporate email with Consumers Energy, I have no access to that. He and I were together for several years. So when we were together, he provided me information so that way I can pay bills. I could do things for he and I. So we've been together for some time. So maybe that's why he thinks that, but I've never accessed his corporate email. Let me also just say, okay, yeah. I've never accessed his corporate email. He's a technology person. He's in media.
Well, it sounds like you're both pretty tech savvy, or at least pretty active, on the internet with different accounts. At least what about this Wayne Whitley? Is that your account?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right. And then also E.L. Milligan Facebook.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
He also mentions this E.L. Milligan Facebook or FB.
E.L. Milligan. I don't think that's my profile. I think I have a new one now.
Okay.
I created new ones when I left him.
Got it. And then what about forever_Erica-IG?
I'm still currently on his phone plan right now. So he can look at all of my activity. He can track me. He can see who I'm talking to. He can see who I'm texting.
Oh, good Lord. Don't get into a social media battle with someone who has access to all your communications. That's right up there with don't invade Russia by land.
Okay.
And he refuses to release my phone number.
I see. You'd like to keep your number, and that's, at least for the moment, on his plan. I would expect it'll probably be worked out in the family court down there, but it just has not happened yet. So those are your accounts, and he's got, in effect, unfettered access to all of them because, he's the owner of the phone plan.
He will not release my phone number. I've asked him to release my phone number, and he continues to track and monitor everything that I'm doing. Even my attorney has reached out to him.
Yeah, and you could, and I mean, that's really not to be decided here in this forum. That's to be decided, that's the sort of thing that would be worked out in the family court forum.
Right, but that's also so he can keep tabs on me. If he's in fear for his life, he shouldn't be trying to track me and keep tabs on who I'm talking to and where I'm going.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Right. And I do want to clarify that protective orders aren't only in fear for your life. They also can be granted when a person is subjected to harassment, that is conduct that makes them uncomfortable or distressed, as would a normal person. So it can't
Exactly.
be, it's not subjective to every person. It's a kind of an objective, every person standard that, and that's where we get up with stuff like, boy, if it's slanderous, or if a person's saying, well, he's a terrible employee and he steals money from his employer or something along those lines, then that's always considered harassment. In other words, it's not limited to threats to your life and limb. It can be threats to your employment and, mental well-being and things like that. So it's a little broader. So, all right. Well, what I think.
Can I also just say this?
One
thing Myrick has been doing, he reaches out to me daily. We're supposed to communicate on this app, Close app, but he has been trying to get me off the app and to talk to him on a phone call or on an iPad where it's not monitored. I'm getting that constantly on the app. You can call me anytime. We don't have to communicate, on here. Call me on Mia's iPad. Call me off your phone. And I don't feel comfortable talking to him unless it is monitored because I know that he twists words. I know he will change the situation and he only give you half information, such as when I went to Michigan to get my things that the judge gave me access to go and get. When I went into the house, he was not there. When I saw him come, he chased after me with my baby might have been like 10 or 11 months at the time. So he chased after me. So he gives you just a little bit, but he doesn't tell you the whole story. He twists the story. And when I left out of the house, I called the police because I was in fear for my life a second time having to run out of that house.
Yeah, no, and I guess I will say, it's not part of my order that you only contact each other through the court app, but I certainly think that's prudent given the situation and the tension between the two of you, that all the communication should go through that app close so that it obeys the order of the court in Louisiana. That we put those orders in place, and I've used them in other cases for exactly that reason. So then the court has access and can see exactly what the parties are communicating to each other without having to take it, any other way. All right, Mr. Harris, it looks like you wanted to say something additional. Go ahead, sir.
Your Honor, what I would like to ask for is an evidentiary hearing, Your Honor. I don't have to lie. I can show you proof. I can show you the IP numbers and everything. There is an investigation with Detective Davis with the Kent County Sheriff's Department. For everything I put in my report, they have IP addresses, they have times.
Can I say the words that she said, or?
Sure. I need for you to tell me what went on.
That I'm not on that whole shit. I'm not with that whole shit.
They have date. Everything is timestamped. I don't have to sit here and tell you things. I can show you videos. Ms. Milligan was still using her Facebook pages up until, I would say, either end of January or beginning of February. I was told by my attorney to go to her page and get these. You could go look at the page right now. It's so much that's happened. She's public. You could Google right now her name and everything will come up for you. You see the last post she made, the last video she made. If you allow me, Your Honor, to clear my name in an evidentiary hearing, I can provide everything that I have told you. I can show proof to back it. You can subpoena Detective Davis. You can subpoena the police officers. When she mentioned about the police coming to our house, I can give you that police report, which does not speak highly good on her.
Okay.
I have evidence.
Well, here's what I'm going to do today, because I also have another hearing that I need to get to that I know the parties are waiting for right now.
Judge, one more thing. Can I just say this?
Yeah,
in one
of
our recent messages on App Close, I can go through and provide this. He's contemplating on moving back to Louisiana, right? That's what I got, just last week or maybe week before last.
Sure.
That's not a person that is in fear for their life or even feel harassed if you're trying to move back to Louisiana.
Well, I don't know. And I really, without the context of it, I can't, it's very hard to judge those things. So what I'm going to do is I will adjourn this matter. I'll keep the PPO in place for the time being. I'm not going to terminate it today because obviously I need to review some additional evidentiary information. So do you think you can get that material to me? Do you have material you would like to submit as well, Ms. Milligan?
What do you need me to submit?
If you have copies of messages, posts, things like that, or the document you referred to, that sounds like you kind of rebut some of the things that he says. If you'd like to submit that to the court, you're welcome to do so. It doesn't mean I'll admit it into evidence. You still need to make a foundation that it would be admissible in that. Can you do that within the next 14 days?
Sure. I'll have to get an attorney. How do you guys go about attorney fees? Because I know in my last case, he had to pay for my attorney's fees when which he still has yet to pay.
The judge doesn't. You discuss that with whoever might be your attorney. See how that works?
The whole thing.
Yeah. Well, and PPOs are a little bit different in that if you're charged with a violation, then you're in jeopardy of going to jail, and I can appoint a court-appointed attorney to represent you. However, to terminate the PPO, it's treated like a civil case. And in those cases, we don't typically, there's not a court-appointed attorney to represent you. Now, you or Mr. Harris, for that matter, could approach a legal aid organization such as Legal Aid of Western Michigan. I don't think they participate in PPOs. I've never seen them appear for one, but you could ask, there are some organizations that provide free legal services for civil cases, because technically, a good thing or a bad thing, depending on your perspective about a PPO, is it is a civil case. It's not on your criminal record. It's not anything that you need to disclose on a job application or anything of that nature. So, it's less heavy and they go away. This one, Judge McNabb granted it for a year, so it's in place until December of this year. But after that, it would expire and it would be removed from the record. So it doesn't create a kind of a permanent mark on your record like a criminal conviction could. But all that being said, we don't provide attorneys to duke it out about whether the PPO is going to remain in place or not. You kind of have to either litigate that yourself or hire an attorney specifically people do appear with attorneys, but they are usually attorneys that they are paying, to appear on their behalf. So I'll leave that in both of your courts. Mr. Harris, is that 14-day deadline to submit supplemental information doable for you?
Yes, Your Honor, does the burden lie on me to serve her with the information? I don't have the data because I was told I got to serve her.
No, it's confidential. So why don't you just send it to the court and I will make sure. Are you going to email it to me or are you going to send hard copies of it?
I can bring it to you. I have it's a lot of information. Or either the files are big because they have a lot of the videos from a whole year that she posted on social media. And I have the police report. I can get the police report that Detective Davis is working on now.
If you can provide a couple of copies of the reports and things to me, I will figure out a way to get them down to Miss Milligan before the next hearing, so we're all on the same proverbial sheet of music.
Okay, thank you.
Very good. And Lisa, do we have a date? I think since we're going to exchange that in 14 days, it obviously has to accommodate that. More than 2 weeks out where we can continue the hearing?
The first,
and we're probably going to need a couple hours if we've got a lot of documents.
yeah, the first time I was able to find a block like that is actually June 25 at 2:00 on Zoom.
Then that's when we'll resume, is June 25 at 2 p.m. And
hold on, I think I have another court date. Can you give me just 1 second?
Yep.
We're going through child custody court right now.
Understood. And I do want to clarify that's going to be on Zoom. So, even if you did have another hearing, you could possibly do it, if you're waiting for it or if it's close. But if it's right on the same time as another hearing, that's obviously not going to work.
Yeah, I just want to make sure it's not the same date. If you give me just 1 second.
No worries.
That date is July 24th, the hearing that we have in Louisiana for custody court.
Okay, not June, so we ought to be okay.
I think we have 2 dates, Your Honor. I'm not sure. If you can let me place a phone call to my attorney's office to make sure. I just don't want to be double booked.
What I'll do is let's tentatively set it for June 24th. And if either party develops a conflict regarding that date, just reach out to my office and we can reschedule it. It's no big deal.
Okay, June 24th. Tell me the time again.
June 25, Judge.
June 25.
June 25. Okay. At what time?
2:00 on Zoom.
Yeah.
That's 2 p.m., correct?
Yes, sir.
And then how do I contact you?
Emailing Lisa is probably the most reliable.
Okay, Lisa, can you provide me your email address and or phone number?
Yep. It's Lisa L. Okay.
All right. Thank you both for attending today and for your civility in presenting your cases. And like you say, we'll reconvene and you do have the opportunity over the next 2 weeks to submit supplemental information to me by mail, email, dropping off, whatever works best respectively for you. And I wish you both a safe weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, Judge, one more thing.
Yep, go ahead.
Are we supposed to be communicating at all?
Only through that app, it sounds like to me. The protective order would prevent you from reaching out directly to Mr. Harris, with an exception for, if there's a court case, your attorney can mail stuff to him, of course, and you could communicate if it's regarding child custody type matters, things that the court allows through the app. Utilize the app as directed by the court. That won't get in trouble.
Seriously, thank you, Zach. Again, another big shout out to Law Nerds Unite. He's killing it over there and sending me good stuff like this at the same time.
But make sure that communication is limited to honestly the stuff the court says should be on there. You can't go on the court appointed app and cuss out the other person. I've had that happen before, but that's never a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't contact him. It's just him contacting me. And when he's on the phone with FaceTime with my daughter, he's always calling me to the phone, trying to talk to me, just doing a little bit too much.
Okay. Well, like I say, do it as court directed through the app, and that'll be best for everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it. That was a lot of fun. That was straight up Jerry Springer all day long. I couldn't even really pay attention to the accusations. These two are both going at it on social media. We're having a 12-year-old spat. I've had other ones like it, but this is fun. He really called her out here. I give him credit. Like I see all the stuff you're posting about me, and I've recorded it and I'm bringing it. I don't know what the judge will do with it, but I'm bringing receipts for this thing. I'm confident he has it. He seems on top of his stuff, and he shut up. He did raise his hand, but here's the thing with that. We actually got the question in the comments. They're raising hand. I mean, first of all, we don't really have strict, rules of decorum, but raising your hand and waiting your turn is mildly aggressive, I suppose, but you're still letting the other person speak first. So I think I think that's fine. It's not offensive. It's raising your hand like this and then jumping in and cutting people off. And then that's no good. But he raised his hand like, hey, I want to talk. And then he couldn't get it. He let it go and waited his turn and then said what he had to say, which was fairly reasonable. She is a special one. He's probably, he's probably no saint either, but in this particular dispute, I don't think she was, in this particular hearing, I don't think she was coming off as particularly likable is the best way. That's not a law analysis. That's just sort of a gut analysis. There you go. All right. Thank you all for coming out. I'll see you soon.